Welcome to Saturday Night Sports. How's everyone doing this evening? What's going on, CJ?
What's going on?
Oh, it's going to be an interesting night for sure. Excuse me. Wow. It's going to be an interesting night. It's been a wild last week of football, and now we got all the COVID going on. And it's just not good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm all here for it.
So, we're going to see, I guess, what exactly has changed in the world that we call Cam Newton. We discussed this a while ago.
Well, I mean,
and now it's time to talk about it again because I'm sorry, but the Patriots have fallen apart. Just fallen apart. That offense, I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know where to begin with that.
I'm just gonna make it very, very perfectly clear. In order to get respect, you got to play for it. You're at a new team. Your goal is to bounce back from what happened with your injury and being released by the team that you were drafted by. And now this is your time to bounce back. And right now, I mean, to be honest, you have it.
Dude, tell me about it.
I can't put it all on Cam. I can't put it all on Cam. You got to put it on Bill Belichick. He's very stubborn. He's stubborn, and this is what we've been saying why Tom Brady left, because Bill Belichick is stubborn. You have to invest in the players to go out and get. You have to do that.
It's like, I mean, we can't necessarily argue against Belichick and his ways because he's won championships with it, but I think that's run out. I think he ran that well dry.
I was about to say, those players that he won the Super Bowl with have all retired, either retired or left.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. 100%. Even some of the key younger players who they had that, I mean, probably could change that defense a little bit. Like he's down in Miami, Kyle Van Noy, Landon Roberts. Those two, they're at times, Landon Roberts makes some weird critical plays. So you don't always see him on the field, then he's put on the field and you see him make a tackle and you're like, oh, well, thanks.
Yeah.
Like things like that. That's kind of something that, the Patriots are missing right now. Or you see a dude run up the middle and, stop the run in the backfield. Well, that was 44. It was Roberts. Like, you don't see that. You don't have Van Noy setting the edge and stuff for the Patriots anymore on the right side either. So it's interesting. It's really interesting to see how this team's really starting to fall to earth. And, I mean, they were talking about trading Gilmore. Like, what? What?
Yeah.
Like, that shows you this thing.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It was just all falling apart offensively. Cam just looks terrible. He just looks bad.
Cam,
I guess that brings us, we'll just drop right into what it is. They just look bad.
Yeah.
It looked real bad.
It was bad. And,
But even in a game of teams that looked bad, Buffalo somehow hangs on.
By a thin thread.
Yeah. Like, dude. Like, Buffalo has just been up and down.
I think the hype is gone. After the first game they lost, it was like, all right, it happens.
Right.
Back. And then
Yep.
the next game they lost, it's like, all right.
What's going on here?
And then, then to see them struggle so much with the Patriots, it's like, where was this, 4 game stretch at? Where
Right.
was the team at? And I think we're starting to finally see where competition pays its toll. You
Right.
know, and this is what Josh Allen is going through right now. And Josh Allen just have to. Something has to happen. And it's not that the whole Buffalo team is bad. It's Josh Allen just making these bad reads, and it's like, what are you doing? This
Yeah.
not the Josh Allen that we've seen the first 4 weeks. What's going on? What's happening?
It's true. I totally agree. That's the same thing. Like it's like as soon as they lost, they lost it all. They lost the mojo. They lost the flow that the offense have had. The offense had, in prior weeks. They don't really have the flow anymore. I mean, you see Diggs out there, but you don't see much else. And now that you see Beasley kind of waking up, everyone else is kind of disappearing. And
Yep.
oh man, the defense isn't as reliable as it once was. I mean, really, as much as it is, Buffalo getting this win, it was just as much, New England losing the game. It was
Mm-hmm.
just, it was nuts. It really was.
It was a bad game.
It was
Bad game.
like, dude. But that's, in my mind, Miami Dolphins fans, sweet. If that's what we're chasing, we're doing perfect.
Gosh. No.
you know? So let's go back and talk about this poor Thursday night game going into the week. Man. I think there's some big questions to be asked about Green Bay. I think they have some issues big time on defense. I think this is something you really need to be careful for. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender strictly because of how many issues they
Here's,
have on that
here's,
defense.
here's what it is. Your secondary is garbage. Your linebackers are terrible. You only has Darius White. Is not enough.
Yep.
You need to right now. You need to focus on what are you going to do. Trade deadline is over. You didn't make
Yep.
no moves in the trade deadline at all.
Yep.
So now, and I guess, the COVID-19 protocol, did a lot of that because if you look at it, it's going to take about a week or two for that player to even get a chance to play anyway.
Still,
That's 2 weeks. I
I don't
get it.
even care.
That's
I don't
still that's
even
still
care.
2 weeks that they're missing. You know what I'm saying? So I guess they felt like it really wasn't no issue, to go out and go get players, but you have to find out a way to improve your defense.
Whoa.
And this has always been Green Bay's issue, with the
Holy
defense not
smokes.
being exactly um defensive stature. They've been having this problem for a while. They just have been scoring a lot on the
Right.
offensive side where it overshadows that defense. But right now they need to go out and get an actual defensive, whether it's the defensive front, and you go out and boost your secondary. Something has to happen.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I agree, 100%. And that's where I'm at. I don't care if he wouldn't have been with them this week because you have to have like 5 days of like positive tests before you can be with the team. So, he'll be at practice next week. Whoever they would have got ready for next week's game. Why you're not getting Aaron Rodgers help on the offense when he doesn't really have a weapon? All his wide receivers are out all the time. Again, the defense. Why don't you try to go get J.J. Watt, who desperately wants out of Houston in a sense of like he wants to win?
Yeah.
Like, dude,
You
go get the guy. There's some people
know,
you could have got, like you said, almost well, any level of that defense. You could have got somebody. It would have helped. You didn't do nothing. What is that?
nothing. Yeah, nothing at all. And
Ah,
this is where I'm at. Where I don't think they're going to go far. If they do go to the playoffs, I think it's either going to take them that first round or the second round where they have to lose. They're not going to go far, and it's just how it has been for the last couple of seasons. If you ask me, I mean,
Yeah,
you got to put your team in a better position to actually win championships.
yeah, they're not. They've
Already,
wasted Aaron Rodgers since they won that Super Bowl. They've pretty much wasted Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's sad. I mean, I get the whole Jordan Love thing. I get it. Was it early? Yes, but I get it. But how do you not get your man some help? He's playing great this year. Help Aaron Rodgers, and you guys might find yourselves there when it matters. It just it baffles me. That
yeah.
organization, honestly, had a quick little conversation with a childhood friend I went to school with. His dad was actually the history teacher, just diehard Packers family. And he's like, this management is just it's terrible right now. They're just being terrible. The way they're running the team, just not, getting help for Aaron and not doing anything on the defense. There's just so many holes. It's not good. I'm like, dang. So, I mean, I totally agree, though. I mean, everyone's saying it, everyone sees it. There's another defense I'll talk about here coming up that kind of worries me. I mean, they're playing well, but I think it's more. I think it's one of those factor fiction type deals, of
Yeah.
or they are who we think they are. I'm not quite sure they are who we think they are. But
Um.
a team that there's a lot of questions around. Obviously, Miami and Tua got their win last week against the Rams, but there's a lot of questions. I don't think there's enough from Tua to really say he's the guy, he's not the guy. I don't know if there's been enough of the defense to say that they're as good as stats say, because they're the number one ranked scoring defense. But at times they give up tons of yards. But, I don't know. I think it was a good take. I was watching Colin do his top 10 here last week, and he had some interesting takes on it. And one of them was, yeah, he had Miami get significantly outgained in the yards categories, but still handled business and won by 10 or more points. Just handled the Rams. That offense just handled it. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that Dolphins defense. I don't know what it was, but they came out to play. They came out to play, and they executed very well. They didn't allow Jared Goff to get any reads or looks at anything. And I just felt like I've said I what I've always been saying is Jared Goff is just average at best. I don't know. A lot of people might think otherwise, but
I
it,
like it. Let me expand on it. How about I think he's a system quarterback.
yeah. Honestly, I don't even think it's the system. I just think that
Well, I
there's
say that
too
because
much of
he made the
Sam
Super Bowl
Bradford
run.
in him.
Just
I
because of
think
the
that's
Super
what it
Bowl run.
is.
You don't really see many quarterbacks even hit that level, even if they're great. So for him to take the team, and yeah, they had the run game, they had everything working that year. They ended up getting there, but it was like since then they really kind of. I don't know if the people have figured out that scheme and have figured out how to beat it. I personally think there is an issue with the scheme and Sean McVay's coaching that people don't want to talk about. Everyone wants to talk about he's a genius.
Yeah, and
I think
you know, I I I like Sean McVay when he was in Washington. You know what I'm saying? But this is the chance now to actually see, Sean McVay in the actual spotlight. Sean McVay.
right.
He had a Super Bowl visit, right?
Yep.
And when you look at Sean McVay, he's a genius. Regardless of you want, he's young, and only but so much is has to come his way. And as much as I would like to say, he needs to get better. He's still young.
Right.
He became a head coach, so I think there's still some time for him. I don't think being a head coach has completely set in, with Sean McVay right now. But he has to do something, because you can't go from a Super Bowl team to
Mm-hmm. Question marks.
yeah, question marks. You got to find your identity. Find your
Mm-hmm.
identity. You got Aaron Donald. You have a stacked defense. Now that you have a stacked defense, focus on building your offense. You know, you, you can't rely on Cooper Cup and Robert Woods and
Mm-hmm.
and your running back company. You got to find out what to do with this offensive line. Your offensive line is terrible. It's
There's
terrible.
and see, I think that goes to scheme. I think it goes to
But
scheme. I think there's times when there's people that it works against, the way that they like to block, it's a great thing and it works and they dominate people. You see
well,
it. But then I think there's times like against Miami in the Super Bowl against that Patriots team, there was times when you find out how to beat this scheme, you're there every time.
yeah,
And that's what it was. It was just getting out coached at the point of attack, and Sean McVay didn't want to make any adjustments. How do you not adjust from that? How do you not tell your dudes, hey, let's flip this, take care of this? Like there was nothing that switched until basically it was too late and it was over, and that was third, fourth quarter, and that was it.
yep,
Obviously, they didn't really make the adjustments in the Super Bowl and their offense got smacked, and we saw that. But, I think this team was going in the right direction. I think they can get back there. I guess we'll see more this week, rebound or not. But again, I think we need to definitely watch going forward if McVay is able to make adjustments when his offensive line is getting beat.
yeah, I definitely agree. And there's there, I wanna move back to well, actually, I'm gonna finish what I got to say here
Go ahead.
because this is very important. Is that besides the offensive line, Jared Goff, that you're playing Aaron Donald, you have to make some type of adjustment with your offensive line. You got to call out these reads, man, and it should be no reason why you haven't. I don't think he's made any adjustments, any audibles, in that game, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, I guess people can say, oh, that is just a scheme and the system that he's in. But if you want to be an elite quarterback, sometimes you have to make those decisions as the captain of that team. You
100%.
those decisions. You're gonna have that C on your chest. You have to act like it. You have to call the audibles if something don't look right.
You got to read the defense. You can't just have the athletic ability and expect it all to work out. It's more
Exactly.
than just having the gift. You have to use your brain with the gift. you
Very true.
know, that's something, brain with the gift. Tennessee, I don't know. You look too much into dropping two straight, and this is why. I was listening to Tony Dungy talk on the Dan Patrick show this week.
Oh
And
yeah, I caught that too.
it was a good take. I like Tony a lot. I love listening to the guy.
One of the
Smart
great
guy.
NFL history.
Yeah, just love the dude. And he's like, I generally pick against teams the week after like a physical just slobber knocker.
Yeah,
That's what Pittsburgh, Tennessee was the week before.
yeah, yeah.
Tennessee came out. You saw it. They were hurt. They were exhausted.
Yeah, Taylor Lewinsky, you know what I'm saying? It
Mhm.
and I think that really played a big part. That Lewinsky is out, and they don't have nobody else to fully fill that void, and
Yep.
you can see it on that offense. And
Yep.
it just sucks. It sucks. Um, I think the Titans right now. I think the Titans people do not fret. You know what I'm saying? The Titans will bounce back. Like you said, they had two very competitive games that they took down to the wire. You
Yeah.
know, so they're beaten up, they're bruised. You know, their bye week was earlier than expected due to, and
Yep.
it's their fault. You know, but
Right.
you know, their bye week came early, and
Yep.
you know now they have to play the rest of the season the way it is. You know,
True.
you're beaten, you're bruised. So now you have to ask yourself, what is next? Here's what I
True.
tell you to do next: is win as many games as you can to get this bye week in the playoffs. That
Yeah.
way you have time to rest and you can do what you do best, or you can keep playing with the trenches, and you can do what you did last season and be the underdogs again. Well, you're not underdogs now the way you've been playing, but you know you can come.
Right.
You can just you can be that beast in the playoffs like you were last season. You know the Titans is definitely a story to tell after what we've seen in last year's playoffs.
I agree, 100%. I also just want to add here, on the flip side, the Bengals. Joe Burrow continues to show why he was number one overall. The kid is just,
Yeah, he's special. He's
dude.
and I even questioned him in week 2, and says, well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. It's still early, but Joe Burrow is by far it's rookie of the year if you ask me.
Yeah, I was
This
gonna say it's lock on rookie of the year.
hmm
Lock on rookie of the year.
I guess you can.
Getting close. Getting close.
Yeah, I don't think nobody's as close as rookie of the year right now, other than Chase
Okay.
Claypool.
Let me
And
throw this at you. Let me throw this at you then. Just because I gotta do it.
okay,
So Tua
no,
goes on eh, a 7-game win streak.
it won't happen. But go on, I'll bite.
Oh, you can't make me laugh, okay?
All right, I'll
So,
bite.
so we'll say 6 to 7 game win streak.
Mm-hmm.
He throws for 300 yards in those wins with 2 to 3 touchdowns and 0 to 1 ratio on the turnovers, whether it be pick or getting a fumble or something.
Okay. Do
Rookie
he?
of the year because they make the playoffs or win the division.
No, because while he's doing that, Joe Burrow is still pushing 400 yards and 5 touchdowns a game.
I like it. I agree. I mean, I
And
agree.
until somebody actually can neutralize Joe Burrow,
Yep.
it's just hard to see how he's not rookie of the year this year. The
And guess
Bengals
what?
the Bengals haven't been pulling off wins, but Joe
You know what
Burrow.
we're gonna watch this year?
Hmm?
Do you know what we're gonna watch this year?
You said what?
Do you know what we get to watch this year?
What do we get to watch?
Bengals, Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tua, Tua versus the number one versus the number two.
Dude, it's gonna be.
The
I think
number
it's
one
gonna be
versus the
fun.
number two.
I think it's gonna
Yeah,
be
that's
real fun.
definitely going to be an exciting game to watch. That's if Brian Flores benches Tua and put in Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I
But
don't think you will.
yeah, man, it's definitely the number one and the number two. There's definitely going to be a game to watch. But like I said, Joe Burrow has gotten my respect after the third week. He's just saying, hey, look, a lot of people doubt me. A lot of people just didn't think that I was going to be the kid that everybody thought I was going to be before I made it in the NFL. And look,
Right.
here I am. He's pulling off almost 400 yards per game, and he's remarkable. He's special.
I agree, man. I love watching the kid. I obviously on Sundays when I pull up Sunday ticket, I throw up 4 games on my TV. Sometimes throw another little 20-inch TV off to the side, give me the local game, whatever. And I'll throw on the Bengals game. Like, I'll watch it. I love watching the kid throw the ball, his anticipation, just the way that he's already able to anticipate that offense and kind of read and know where his guys are going to be. He just looks so smooth and comfortable. They just need to get him that offensive line, get in the line, get him another younger weapon to go in there. Unfortunately, AJ Green, you're going to find out if he's going to be there long term or not after this season. We'll go from there, but I do think that Burrow and Cincinnati have some high hopes in the future. Speaking of high hopes, but not so much in the future. I just gotta say it. The Chucky's back. This dude has the Raiders playing good again, and I think it's gonna be for the rest of the season. I think they're gonna be in every game. I think you're gonna see them win more games.
Well,
Derek Carr,
I don't see why people doubted John Gruden. John Gruden came in during a complete rebuild of this team, and John Gruden came in. He did what he thought was necessary with the trading of Khalil Mack, and he got some draft capital,
yep,
and used those draft capitals to bring in the guys that he needed, and
yep,
that's Ruggs. And the kid is just amazing. The kid has a tremendous athletic ability. We haven't really been able to see much of him this season, but
right,
he's very athletic. He's fast. He has hands, and just once the time comes where they get him involved, it'll be something to watch. Derek Carr, he has a very good relationship with John Gruden. John Gruden loves Derek Carr. He loves his attitude on the field day in and day out. Derek Carr is just he's a tough kid. I'm not sure if anybody's seen the mic'd in video when he broke his leg, and that is mic'd in when he knew it was broke. He didn't scream or anything. He said, "Hey, yo, it's broke."
right.
He's like, "Hey, come over here. It's broke. Like my leg's broke."
Oh, dude, it was.
But
I
John
gotta give the kid.
Gruden,
I gotta give
this
the kid
this
props
is
for
this is
that.
the return
That's
of
gross.
Chucky. This is definitely the return of Chucky. I have high hopes for John Gruden. I hope we see the same John Gruden that we've seen him with the Buccaneers. You obviously see that, he it's one of those things where you get those certain type of coaches that only knows to win,
Right.
and he implements that. It might not work the first year, it might not work the second year, but you're going to improvements after every year. And that,
Right.
that goes the same with Ron Rivera in Washington right now.
Sure.
Where you might a lot of people figured, oh, Ron Rivera was going to change this organization right around. No, there's no way possible he was even going to change an organization like Washington around in the span of a year while after dealing with the pandemic and the COVID and him having cancer. It wasn't going to happen. But what you can see is the same thing you see with John Gruden in Las Vegas is that you implement a plan, you tell your players of this plan, and you get the trust of your players to buy into this plan. And if they buy into it, you will see results. And that's what you see on both of these teams. The Raiders, they bought into the plans of Chucky, and now you see that they're here to play. They're here regardless of them being fined for the COVID protocol. I mean, listen, they're definitely on their way to something big.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. I do. And that's another thing. We can watch Tua versus Derek Carr this year. We're gonna watch Brian Flores versus John Gruden. And that's another thing I'm excited for. Like, I'm excited to have these matchups. I'm excited to watch Tua and Kyler Murray and, you know, Flores versus that coaching staff on the other side in Arizona. Like, it's week in and week out. I'm becoming more and more impressed from different coaching staffs. And again, Chucky, just bringing that old school mentality back that people are like, oh, he can't do this. He can't bring this in. The game's changed so much. He's
Right.
so out of tune with it. No, he's not.
And you know what? I was one of them people. I'm not even gonna lie. In the beginning, last year, I was like, listen, John Gruden, this is not Warren Sapp Buccaneers. This is not Mike Allstott Buccaneers. This is not Joey Galloway Buccaneers. You can't run it like you used to run it. Well, guess what? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. And like I said, you just have to find the players that is ready to buy into your plan. And you
Yeah,
know, you got rid of Khalil Mack. I don't think Khalil Mack was really feeling his plan, and he was like, "Hey, look, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I didn't draft you. I don't have to keep you."
for real.
And it sucks, but that's just what a head coach is. When he comes into a player who where the organization is so invested in, it's like, hey, I don't have to keep you. I didn't draft you, so I'm not really invested in you. But it's just why I'm so impressed with Ron Rivera, and I just wish people actually gave Ron Rivera a chance to actually, change the ship around. It's not going to happen this year. It's not going to happen next year. But this is a phase one of the rebuild, and the only greatness is going to start from here.
We all have to remember too. It's a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
I'm I'm glad to see Carr winning. I'm glad that him and Gruden together were able to get on the same track and agree they can do it together. He didn't have to ship Carr out. There didn't have to be drama around that. Getting rid of Mac was really the cornerstone of the rebuild. It made sense, especially looking back now. You're like, yep, I probably done the same thing. It
Speaking
made
of
sense.
Derek Carr, I'm going to because Derek Carr is a lot of people's not talking about Derek Carr, you know,
No,
but Derek
he
Carr
has really good stats this year.
get really good stats this year, and people seem to are forgetting just how good is Derek Carr. This right now he is tied. He only has two interceptions.
Yep.
Okay, he is tied eighth for quarterback rating. He has 1,837 yards, 14 touchdowns, and only two picks.
Mhm.
This is what week nine.
He's very efficient this year.
He's been very efficient. He's been keen to where to throw the ball, and it's and to be honest, when you have a tight end like Darren Waller, how can you not have such a success? And hey man, I've said it all the time. I've always respected Derek Carr. I think this is where he rises to the expectations of what everybody thought that he can be.
I agree. I agree, 100%. I do. On the flip side, I'm going to say Cleveland. Oh man, what to expect? I don't even know. I don't know what to expect. I don't even really have an identity at this point anymore. They're so up and down all over. Baker good, Baker bad. They run good, they run bad. They just do something good consistently, for God's sakes.
Well, I
OBJ
mean,
being gone, that hurt too. A lot.
Cleveland has a lot going on right now. You got Austin Hooper, and then you got the rookie.
Mhm.
I don't really like the way they really did in Joku. You
Oh,
know,
100%. I agree.
I don't like the way they handled that situation,
But I
and
thought Njoku's a
you
good
know,
player.
and you still don't trade him. He's now stuck, in a trio of disaster because they're not going to utilize you, and I think now they don't have a choice with the recent injury of Odell Beckham. You know,
Right.
um, listen, man, the way I see it is this: you're only going to get better from here, and Right now, what the Cleveland need to do, if they really considering trading the Joe Cleveland, then what they need to do is build his draft stock, get him involved, build his draft stock. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't like the way that they did. I don't like the way they handled that situation. They could have easily traded him, to any team that needed a tight end. They just stalled. And I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's like I said, a lot of inconsistencies. It's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross. I don't like I said. I can never get behind Baker Mayfield being a good quarterback. I just can't. Like he has moments, but it's just not good enough for me. It's not like I in my eyes. I think I like to think I have a higher opinion of what a good quarterback should be, and Baker Mayfield's not it.
Well,
So
here's the thing. I think that Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback, but there's this thing where you're only as good as your offensive line, and that's any quarterback, right?
true.
But Baker Mayfield, he has the streakiness about him that I always call out. And it's like one game you have 400 yards for 4 touchdowns and no interceptions, and then the next game you have 200 yards with 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns, and it's like the inconsistency just has to stop. You either going to be one quarterback that people see you as, or you're going to be the Baker Mayfield where 3 years and you still have nothing to show for it. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I like Baker Mayfield. I think that he can, without Odell Beckham, he can still rise. And with playing the Texans, this is the time. Well, I know it's the Texans, but this is the time. Baker Mayfield, you have the Texans, the Eagles, and the Jaguars. So this is your time to step up and show that you're here to stay.
I like it. I like it. Speaking of people who show they need to stay, old Sam Darnold and the struggling Jets. I'm not seeing it. I'm just not. I mean, even if the Jets are as trash as they are, like we can't even get a couple bright spots out of this kid this year. I don't even know. And
Well,
it's bad because I think that he has the athletic ability,
he does
and
have the athletic ability.
yeah, I think
Sam
at times,
Darnold, Sam Darnold is a good quarterback, despite what I think about
yeah,
USC quarterbacks.
yeah.
Despite what I think about USC quarterbacks, see, Sam Darnold is an exception from that, and we all see what Sam Darnold has inside of him. We
Mm-hmm.
just couldn't see it because the lack of coaching and the progression of the team that he's on. And like I said, it's toxic in New York right now with the Jets. Adam Gase is toxic. The organization toxic, and it is it's just all bad, and
Mm-hmm.
it sucks because at the expense of some of these actually talented guys like C.J. Henderson and the tight end who was supposed to have a blossoming season, and he's nowhere to be found. Then you have Sam Darnold, and then Perryman isn't bad, and then Mekhi Becton is. I mean, Quentin Williams, and then you shipped off Jamal Adams. I mean, it's just a lot, and if the Jets want to change anything around, you get rid of Adam Gase. You get rid of that whole coaching staff. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
you bring in a head coach who can instill an actual disciplined coaching environment and bring in the coaches necessary to turn the ship around.
Here's
But
one.
that's what we're talking about. So we're not sure what's going to happen.
You ready for this?
Hmm.
Jets fans and their fan base are talking about, how everyone's like, oh, Trevor Lawrence will just go back to Clemson and not be the first pick. They don't go to the Jets, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what if we offered Dabo Sweeney a massive contract and he was the new coach of this rebuild? Would you come then, Trevor Lawrence? it's it's weird. There's so many things. Like I don't know how Adam Gase isn't fired yet.
Trevor Lawrence is staying in Clemson, right?
Well, there you go. We have the take on it, folks. We're gonna come back to it. Don't worry.
But
No, I don't know how Gates has a job. I don't get it. I don't know if you were literally just trying to throw this season away, and then at the end of the season, last game, as soon as you're done losing, whatever, as soon as the last game's over, boom, the dude's fired. Like if that's what you're doing, cool. But like I don't know, man. I can't quite tell. I'm with you on that whole scene's toxic. Obviously, flip side, we got Mahomes, company looking smooth, taking care of business, 400 plus passing yards, nothing new.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. There's a lot of rumors. Saying that they told Lawrence to go back to school.
Right.
Go back to college, and Trevor Lawrence said, this is my last year in college, man. I want to go to the NFL, and this is where I'm at. Okay, I think that Trevor Lawrence should consider staying because
Mm-hmm.
let's say you do declare, right? You do declare your entry into the NFL, and you're drafted by the Jets. But the Gase is possibly still there. We know how that's going to go. There's no
Not good.
shadow of doubt in my mind that there's going to be change. Okay, and right now it's not the best fit for Trevor Lawrence right now. So I say Trevor Lawrence stay. At the
Right.
expense of not being drafted by the Jets. But here's the thing: if the kid wants to go and he feels like the Jets is the team to build his legacy on, then by all means, I would love to see it happen. It's not going to happen, but I would love to see it happen. I think that he will shine regardless in New York. But here's a bold prediction of mine. Okay, I don't
Oh,
know what's going to happen. I don't know how is this going to happen, but I have there's a feeling in my gut. Okay,
mm-hmm.
it's going to be my underdog week. Okay? I have a feeling in my gut that the Jets can pull off a win. So I'm calling it. Jets will beat Kansas City. And it's going to be by either a field goal or a touchdown. But I think it can happen.
They already lost to Kansas City. They're not playing Kansas City this week.
Hmm?
They're not playing Kansas City this week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. But
Who
the
are they?
Jets
Who
will
are
be
they?
next week.
I can see them. Cause hang on. I think. Let me get to that in a second. Hang on.
The
It's
Jets,
funny you say that because I've been kind of thinking that this week. Let's
they
see.
play the Patriots. That's
That's
right.
what it was. Yep.
Yeah. So, yes, the Jets will beat the Patriots. Okay? The Jets will beat the Patriots. The Patriots are in a state right now where they give teams like the Jets their first win.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And if this happens, there's a lot of speculation that says that maybe the Patriots just need to trade Bill Belichick.
Hmm. Yeah, and they got that as the Monday night game. Oh, that's going to be hot garbage. Let me tell you.
Like, yeah. If they lose this game, I think the Patriots are going to start looking to part ways with Bill Belichick.
Hopefully not. You know, this Colts team, the beginning of the year was very on board. I loved it. I loved the Phillip Rivers to Indianapolis move. It all made sense. But there's just times when this team just looks awful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on? Like they have their moments, they break down, But again, I think it was due to Darius Leonard being off the field. But if that's the case, if he has to be on the field all the time for that defense to play it in a top-notch level, then there's bigger questions than that. I mean, I get
Yeah,
he's a great player, but he can't impact the defense that significantly, play level wise.
yeah. The Colts played a very good approach. They came with a very great approach with how they're going to, you know, approach the season. And instead of saying, you know what, let's go draft the quarterback and let's bring him in here. So
Right.
instead of doing that, they said, you know what, let's bring Philip Rivers in. That way, we can move forward with you know possibly trading for a young quarterback or finding a nice stud in the draft. And when I say stud, I see a guy who might be like in the second or third round who might not move up in the first round, and that's the BYU quarterback.
We'll see that.
Yeah, and it can happen. I like the coach's approach to how they started the season, bringing in Philip Rivers. That running back company that they have, you know, they can all catch the ball in the backfield and they can all run the ball. But Naeem Hines is athletic. Yeah, the kid
You
can.
can be special.
Yeah, he's very special, and I think the Colts need to just let him be the receiver back,
Mm-hmm.
on third down situations, and let Naeem Hines do his thing. I like Jonathan Taylor.
Now let it work itself out.
Yeah, but Matt Stafford, listen, they did a wonderful job. They did a wonderful job trying to, with trying to come back after falling so short. It's the Matt Stafford that we know. And
Mm-hmm.
I just think that they didn't get the running game, established as quickly as they should have. And Kenny Galladay being out, that played another big part. You know what I'm saying? So it was they tried. They gave effort, but the Colts came over with the win.
Right. I think uh, the biggest thing, I guess I should say, with Detroit is they're not good when they need to be. They don't win the games that they need to win to show that they can be in the company of good teams.
So is this the end for Matt Patricia?
I don't think so. I think I think he isn't Stafford's deal up this year.
Hmm?
Isn't Stafford's deal up this year?
Yep. This last year.
See, that's going to be interesting. I feel like you almost try to bring Stafford back for another year or two, but draft a quarterback, mentor situation. Give Patricia an opportunity in that situation there. If he fails, gone. But I think defensively, from defensive mind, that defense can be pretty good. But it's just again they don't show up when you need them to show up, and that's the issue with Detroit right now. That might be continue to be the issue potentially with the Colts here moving forward too. But
Hmm.
we'll have to see. They have more games coming up. Obviously, I wasn't anticipating them to beat the Lions by 20 by any means. So we'll
Oh,
see.
well, I take that back. Matt Stafford isn't over until 2023.
See, so perfect. You draft a quarterback. You draft a quarterback this draft.
Yep.
If you don't, you're
5 years,
setting
135,
Patricia up for failure.
92 games.
Excuse me.
2017, he signed a 5-year contract worth 135 million
That's right.
with
I
90,
remember that.
92 million guaranteed.
I remember that. Okay.
Yep.
So, moving on. Chargers doing what they do best, losing late.
Yeah.
This is the fourth time this season that this team has blown a lead, a significant lead. Like, what the heck? Personally, so here's my take. Here's my take on the Chargers situation and their inability to close games right now. They're a young team, got a rookie quarterback in there, making plays, looking good, proving the haters wrong. Let's be real. What I like the most is Herbert's ability to be consistent, but the defense and everybody else to be inability to be consistent is what's hurting them right now. Now, will this pay off down the road? And will this team grow and learn how to start winning these close games? Or is this going to stunt the growth of Herbert around the corner? I'm hoping that they figure out how to start taking care of business, but history says same Chargers, different season.
Well, yeah. Let me start. And Justin Herbert is another special kid. Nobody really expected Justin Herbert to come out and play the way he has played. Despite the turnaround from how he was made the starter, might still be a little bit of speculation in, a fishy situation, with how that happened with Tyrod Taylor and the medical examiner puncturing his lung with the needle. You know,
Oh, God.
it's a fishy situation, But however, despite all that, Justin Herbert, you know, listen, I mean, he came in and he said, "Listen, I'm here. I'm here to make a statement, and I'm here to be your starting quarterback." And he's done significantly well. He has a gunslinger on him, and that gunslinger do tend to get a little streaky. But he's young. It's his first year, and he'll get better as the season progresses. But I don't like the way that looks with the whole Tyrod Taylor situation. But this Chargers team, like you said, is inconsistent around him. The wide receivers are inconsistent. You're not sure what Keenan Allen you're going to get. You're not sure what Mike Williams you're going to get. Then you have Henry. Henry is there, but again, you never know what Henry you're going to get. And at this point right now, it's the defense again is inconsistent. So they need to find some type of consistency, with this team as a whole. There's no reason why you should have let the Broncos come back, so late. It shouldn't be no reason. But this is Drew Lock we're talking about, and despite what people want to think about Drew Lock, I think he's a quarterback that you want to put in a conversation with Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert right now.
I need to see a little more. I need to
Yeah,
see a little more.
but I think that that's because of what's given on his plate right now. He only has Jerry.
Right.
He doesn't have a tight end. Philip Lindsay, inconsistent. And he just need with Patrick Tim out. It's one of those things where with what he's given, he's doing well, and I think that if you put some weapons around him, you know, he'll do better. He'll definitely do better.
I like that. I can see that. I mean, I don't. I'm not like hating on the kid by any means, but I want to see, like you said, I want to see what he does when you do put some talent around him. When the people are
And let's say if he had those guys, Drew Lock would be amazing. But he doesn't have those guys. He has Jerry Judy. He has Jerry Judy, which I'm still waiting to see. You
that
know,
could turn into something good. He needs to figure it out. He hasn't been looking great by any means. So we'll see. Like I said, need to see more from that. Definitely need to see more from
one second.
Beauty. I am gonna cycle right back into the next part here. Drew Brees and company in their first outdoor game take care of business, hang on in overtime against the Bears. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Like I said, first time playing outdoors this season. Looked good at times, other times struggled, weren't quite sure what was going on. But that's kind of how Drew Brees and company's been this year. They go from looking good to what are you doing? I think this next week they're going to be doing better. Michael Thomas, all of them, they're going to be returning. He's going to have his weapons back. It's going to be great. It's going to be perfect for him. They pretty much sneak out of here, get the job done. Bears unable, again, just like the Lions, unable to win games when you need them to. They're not able to get the job done like this. This is a game you win with Nick Foles. You start to kind of get that monkey off your back of, oh, the Bears aren't that good, but they weren't able to do that. Typical Bears. Nick Foles, who knows? Again, I don't really think about this Bears team. They have a great defense. Obviously, Khalil Mack and them love getting to the quarterback, causing turnovers. But the offense, you just never know what you're going to get from them from week to week. It's not a great thing. When you're putting people at risk, oh, man, it's just not fun. It's just not fun at all. I don't enjoy it. But what I do enjoy watching, since CJ is taking a while, we're just going to keep going. I'm enjoying watching as much as I didn't enjoy watching them beat Miami earlier this year. I'm totally been enjoying watching the Wilson to Metcalf connection. These dudes know pretty much how to win games. When they took over the game last week and basically were like, well, stop us, you're going to lose. Well, couldn't stop him. So the 49ers lost. 49ers were looking pretty decent, but then after this got decimated with injuries, COVID, obviously, we talked about them earlier in the show, losing. So they've lost back to back. Where I'm at with them, just call it. Just call it. Get ready. Get done with it. Hey.
So, yeah.
What I said was, what I was just saying was, with the 49ers, I was getting ready to talk about Wilson and Metcalf. I'm enjoying watching that. But the 49ers, they basically ultimately have lost back-to-backs now. They lost to the Seahawks, lost to the Packers. Team is just decimated. They can't beat the injury bug. They're all over the place. Just call it. Be done with it.
Yeah.
Stop putting your people out there at risk for injury more long term. Just call it. Be done with it. Prepare for next year. That's just where they need to be. It's sad, the sad, unfortunate truth. That's where they need to be. You need to continue to play the young guys, give them the reps. I'd continue to get Brandon Ayuk on the field when you can. Continue to let Nick Mullins and maybe the other backup, take turns seeing what you got there. If you don't have good, backups, get rid of them. You need to continue to develop this team forward.
Nick Mullins, how about him? How about him? Listen.
He's good, but I think he needs more. He needs. He's not going to be the reason why they win games, and that's not a great or an elite quarterback. I think he's just a good game manager, and he won't make the big mistake. But again, like he said, he won't. Oh, he's not going to win games for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that in time, I think he can blossom into the quarterback that Shanahan needs him to be, and it's possible that they just might move on from Jimmy G and start investing in Nick Mullins. This won't be a bad idea.
I don't know. I don't know what you do.
I know.
I get it. You get younger,
might
but
not like this, idea that I'm having right now with Nick Mullins becoming the potential franchise quarterback there in San Fran. But but I'm gonna entertain it because I see here's what I see in Nick Mullins. In his name also is Nick. You know what I'm going for. What I see in Nick Mullins is what I see in the Super Bowl quarterback, Nick Mullins.
Super Bowl, Nick Mullins, same sentence. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I like the dude. He's another guy. I need to see more. I need to see him. If he'd have went out here and outdueled Russell Wilson and won, I've been talking about this dude. I mean, but obviously not a lot of people are doing that this year, and a lot of people are going to go out and beat Russell Wilson and company. But come on. I get that you're taking care of the ball. I get you're not throwing picks. Again, you're not making a big mistake. But rally this team, man. Rally them. You got to do something more. Like, they got totally smacked down on Thursday night.
Yeah, yeah, it was embarrassing. You know,
Yeah, you got to do more. There's no way. There's no way I drop Jimmy Garoppolo, who's going to give me. Right now, quarterbacks, Jimmy Garoppolo is giving the 49ers the best chance to win, hands down. Like, no argument about it. There's no way you get rid of that. If you do, then, the front office and everyone needs to be questioned because that's not a smart move. As far as the Seattle team goes, they continue to show why they're one of the top teams, obviously taking care of business, getting the job done. Wilson and company love stretching the field. Metcalf's just continuing to show, why he was probably one of the best players in this draft. He's a freak athlete. Love watching the dude play. Defensively for Seattle, I need to see more. I need to continue to see more. I think there's some holes. There's some questions, so to speak, that they need to totally solidify before they could be maybe, hey, they're going to be that division winner. But there's still some things that need to be answered.
yeah, I agree.
Speaking of things that need to be answered still, you might call me crazy, but Pittsburgh's unbeaten, yes. But I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced of the Super Bowl favorite.
How are you not convinced?
This is why.
Uh-oh.
Ben in this last game had good moments, they had bad moments. The defense is what's really kind of. They kind of have moments where blown coverages, miscommunications, giving up big leads. Look at the Tennessee game. You had Tennessee come roaring back when you had them beat down, basically. They're just things that you don't want to see that this team's doing, and you need to see them clean it up now rather than later when it matters.
Here's what you can respect though. What you can respect right now is that the Steelers, regardless of how close that game is, they're going to give you 110%.
Oh yeah, for sure,
And
no doubt, no
right
question about
now,
that.
right now they're showing teams right now how to win. And they're doing it very well. They're not blowing teams out. They're winning these close games. They're taking it to the wire. They're
Hmm.
saying, "Hey, we don't have to blow you out just to win." And as much as I hate to give Pittsburgh the spotlight,
Right,
I respect them, right now, as a team in whole. They have been doing very, very good. They have been very consistent as far as, winning profusely.
right,
And you can see it. You can see where Mike Tomlin is looking at their. You can see that Mike Tomlin is looking at the fans and saying, "Hey, you wanted me out last season. Are you wanting me? Are you wanting me out? How do you feel about me now?" and he made a statement. And listen, I've been saying it. I've been saying it way, way before the season started. Because Pittsburgh fans were just ready to give up on Mike Tomlin, and I didn't know why. I didn't know why. It wasn't no reason. They didn't have no players last season. They played everybody that they had, from practice squad to the reserves, whatever that they had to muster up due to the injuries that they suffered. They did it,
Right.
and they finished the season 8-8. If I'm correct,
Yep, they did. They
yeah,
did.
they finished the season 8-8. They
Yep.
finished the season 500 with everything betting against them. They was able to just win and
Uh,
have a season that they can look back on. And listen, man, like I said, I hate to give the Steelers the spotlight because I'm not a big Steelers fan, you know, but they've been winning. In the way they've been winning, I respect to the fullest. You know, we
oh
respect,
yeah.
we respect blowouts. It shows that hey, we're the better team.
Right.
What 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 brings it out to me is when a team can take every close game that they play and win it with poise. And that's what the Steelers has been doing.
Right. Which I can't. Like I said, I'm not hating on them by any means, but at the same time, if you want to look at them from afar, there are some things you'll see on tape that you don't want to see from a team that people are talking about potentially contending for a Super Bowl. Right now they're the last unbeaten still, playing at a high level, but there's certain things you want to see them clean up as they get better. You don't want to see these things continue to lag on because then eventually they're going to play that opponent who's going to expose that flaw. Boom, Steelers are out. Don't
Mm-hmm.
want to see it. That's where that is with that. At the same time, ah, dang, Steelers need to lose, as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, look, they're the only team that's unbeaten right now, man. And
I know they're over here messing with my good old perfect Dolphin season, so they need to lose. They need to drop a big old fat L in that column somewhere. Like, who knows? They could be the ones maybe to drop one at going to the Cowboys this year. No, let's hope not. I want to talk about a man that I don't enjoy talking about, but the dude is just. He's just continuing to be great.
yeah.
Old terrible Tom.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's be real. It was as much the Giants losing as it was, Tom helping this team win. The Giants are playing great, had every opportunity to capitalize, and then they're like, this is why we suck this year. But at the same time, Tampa Bay on the road, this is my thing to them. Just as I was, kind of crucial with the Steelers, this is where I'm at with terrible Tom and the Bucks. Whoever can get them to travel in the playoffs is going to have a chance to beat them because they do not travel well. I don't understand why, but they don't. They've looked like crap on the road all year.
Well, here's what I feel. In that game, it was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Terrible Tom.
all across the board. And I like Tom Brady, but my question is to him is how long are you going to skate along with these type of wins? Can you keep doing these type of games? Listen, I commend you. Your 5 touchdowns and all that this season. You got it. You showing that you still have it. But how long do you have it?
Honestly, I think he'll only continue to get better this year because Antonio Brown and all them. He's gonna have so many weapons to throw to now. Okay, Here's what I said, and I wish Albatross was here because he was one of the people I told it to. We'll definitely have him say something about this quote next week. When O.J. Howard went down, you could see in that period of time, Tom had just a sense of frustration. He kind of had a question mark of what they were going to do. Gronk wasn't playing to catch the ball. He was just blocking, kind of hanging out, letting the young talent take care of business, take the hits, just hanging out. Then you have O.J. Howard drop out. I was like, Gronk's going to step up. Tom's going to go to Gronk and say, I need you to run some routes, catch some balls, help this offense. Well, look what happened now since O.J. Howard left, since they started winning again. You have Gronk up the seam, Gronk over here making plays, chip blocking. Oh, turn around, there's the ball, little 5-7 yards. Like he's making those New England plays down there with Tom in Tampa. Well, then, you're getting all these people healthy back. Then you're getting Antonio Brown added to it. That team's only going to get better. Leonard Fournette, the dude looks gross right now. He looks healthy, gross, finishing runs, lowering his shoulder over the tackles. Like it's going to be something, dude. And that defense is pretty gross. But again, they need to figure out how to travel. If they end up having to go on the road, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle, and I don't know that they're going to be able to go on the road in the playoffs and take care of business. Now, if they're at home in Tampa, they're very good at Tampa. At home, good luck beating Tom and that Bucs team.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
I don't get it either. But if you look at it, whoo.
Yeah, I think it's just that Tampa atmosphere, man. That Tampa atmosphere is just.
He loves it. He loves it down there in that ship, dude. It's crazy.
That ship gonna crash eventually.
Oh, let's hope. Let's hope. I mean, I don't really want to watch the dude win another Super Bowl.
Predictions for Week 9. This is my favorite.
So, we're gonna do something interesting this week.
Uh-oh.
We're supposed to have more than just me and you. Jonah was supposed to be in here, but he's been a ghost the past couple weeks. Who knows if Casper will ever pop back in. So, I gave you the slates on the games that we were going to talk about. We're going to do some predictions here tonight on the Week 9. By any means, do not take us for our word on these. This is just kind of how we're feeling, okay? So, we going and losing money on stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, CJ? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right.
What I found on the web.
Right off the bat, Carolina, Kansas City. How are you feeling with the return of Christian McCaffrey? I think
they're going to win.
Yes.
I think they're going to win.
I think McCaffrey and Bridgewater together, I think are going to pose a more...
Not forget Mike Davis. Don't forget Mike Davis.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. I think that this offense with the return of McCaffrey is going to pose quite an ideal, unique threat to this Chiefs defense that they haven't seen. And I don't know that they're going to be able to...
Just imagine their division as a whole.
Right.
This is something to look forward to. C Mac is going to have 100 yards plus. This game. He's going to have at least 2 touchdowns. One being a rushing touchdown, one being a passing touchdown. Receiving touchdown.
Definitely. I like that for sure. I'll definitely take Carolina on that for sure. I'm down with that. You got Carolina on that too?
Yep.
Boom. Love it. Seattle at Buffalo.
I gotta go with Seattle, man.
Right.
Because DK Metcalf he's going to murder Josh Norman. Going to murder.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that. I totally forgot. That's gonna be hilarious. I'm gonna have to watch that.
He's just going to murder Josh Norman. I
Honestly,
don't think they can contain Tyler Lockett.
I agree, but I also think the Seahawks defense isn't going to be able to take care of Diggs and Beasley.
Well, I think Dunlap is now playing this week.
Well, that'll help a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah, I think Dunlap is playing this week. I don't
Honestly, I'm going to take Buffalo at home for the upset.
know. Oh, okay.
As much as
Let me write this one down.
Right?
This is. Let's see. We got Carolina. And then I got Seahawks.
I took Buffalo.
All right. And then.
Yeah, just like, I don't know. I have this weird feeling. That gut feeling, I just have this weird feeling. Buffalo, we're going to see that 4-0 Buffalo team, I think we might see them appear again tomorrow.
Chicago versus Tennessee.
Ooh.
You know what? I'm going to call it. I got Chicago winning.
Oh, you're going to call it, huh? Nah, man. I'm going to call it right here. Tennessee avoiding the 3-game losing streak. They need some home cooking.
Nope. I got Tennessee. Here's why.
You got Chicago, you mean?
Yep.
You said Tennessee.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I got Chicago. Here's why. Mooney is starting to shape up into a prominent wide receiver. Then you have Allen Robinson. Those two guys there is just going to shape up. And I don't think Tennessee has the secondary to contain both of them right now. David Montgomery, he's starting to get the ball rolling. I like the way he's been running so far. David Montgomery, this is my other bold prediction, is that David Montgomery will have 100 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns.
Ooh. Well, I'm going to have to go.
Nick Foles will have 300 yards passing with 3 touchdowns.
I think Ryan Tannehill is going to be the one with the 300-yard game, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And it's going to be A.J. Brown having that big day. A.J. Brown, Humphreys, Corey Davis, Johnny Smith, obviously Derrick Henry. That offense is really starting to get going. So in the next one, potential upset, Pittsburgh at Dallas.
I got Pittsburgh, man.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Team.
As much as I'm going to be hoping, I just don't see I don't see Dallas doing much at all.
I just got Pittsburgh going. Their secondary, it's just hard to contain the secondary when they have Juju Smith-Schuster and then Chase Claypool. Johnson is back. It's just a lot. And then you have James Conner and their running back company. I just don't think that it'll happen. And I think that Ezekiel Elliott would have a very hard time with T.J. Watt.
Most definitely.
Baltimore.
Oh, here we go. Hang on here. We got some mobile picks coming in now, folks.
Uh-oh.
We got Albatross over here giving us some mobile picks, on his trip back from across the world. No, I'm just kidding. He's just not with us tonight. But yeah, no, he got some mobile picks. They're tuning in watching. He is taking the Seahawks, and he is taking the Titans, and he has Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. So he has Tennessee winning Chicago. He had the Seahawks beating Buffalo and Pittsburgh beating Dallas. All right.
Right. Okay. So on to the next. Baltimore at Indy.
This matchup is very, very hilarious in history-wise.
Right.
They used to be the Baltimore Colts. Now they're Indiana. So this is actually a game that's worth watching. You have Indy coming out, and then you have Baltimore. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. I, I have Indiana win. I have the Colts winning. I think Philip Rivers will come out on top in this. And a lot of people, if you guys are watching, you might think I'm crazy because Lamar Jackson. How do you bet against Lamar Jackson? I'm
Mm-hmm.
betting against Lamar Jackson this week. Okay. I Philip Rivers will come out. I think Naeem Hines will play well receiving in the backfield, and then you have Jonathan Taylor. He's going to light it up as well on the ground. Zach Pascal, he will have 100+ yards and 2 touchdowns this week. Another thing that Albatross just mentioned is that Baltimore defense is off the COVID list. So,
Yeah, I like the defense. Yeah, I like both defenses,
but
but
I still got the Colts coming out on top.
I'm taking the Colts too. I think the Colts are going to get again. There's games that teams have to win to prove they belong, and I think this is an opportunity for Ravens to do it. And I think, or excuse me, the Colts to do it, and it's going to be over the Ravens.
This next one.
Yeah, I put this one on there because it's going to be. It's like last week. It's Miami and Arizona. It's
I got Arizona.
mm.
You're not going to go against your favorite team. You're not going to go against your favorite team. So I know
Who
you're going to go with
says?
Miami.
Who says I won't?
You won't. You won't. You won't.
Honestly, here's what I think. I think this defense is playing out of their mind right now. I think eventually they're going to come down to earth.
Yeah, I think it can
Um,
happen. I'm 50-50 on this matchup, but I think Arizona's going to come out on top. Kyler Murray just have to get the ball rolling in some way. And I think this game will be the game where Kyler Murray steps out into the spotlight again, and at the expense of the Dolphins defense and Tua getting sacked 3 times by Chandler Jones. Um,
no, not going to happen. Nice try, though. No. No,
but
no,
have
no.
a
With a
winner.
little bit more. No.
Who do you
What's
have winning
really,
this
what's
match?
really going to happen here is the defense is going to come out and disrupt good old Murray early, and Tua's going to throw for 3 touchdowns tomorrow and show why he was a top 5 pick.
Okay.
I don't know. I got nothing from Albatross yet, so we'll let you know what.
Are these the only matchups you have up?
Yeah, these are just the. I just picked a couple. I didn't want to go too far. Have people saying something about, "Hey, I used your picks and lost money" or something.
I mean, this is what we feel, But
Right.
New York and Washington game, I got Washington winning. You know, I have
Yeah.
Washington winning. Washington is in a perfect spot right now
Mm-hmm.
where they have a chance to win. They have a chip on their shoulder by losing that close game against the Giants. Looking at the Giants play against Tampa, they have a great front defense, but honestly, I think that this is where McLaurin versus Bradbury Part 2. I think McLaurin is going to eat him alive. I believe Robert Foster will be available to play Sunday. That's just another weapon. We all know Robert Foster. He hasn't been getting the spotlight. He was a big time combine candidate. When he was drafted, he went undrafted, but he was in the NFL combine. I believe it was 2014, 2015, if I'm not mistaken. But he ran a 440.
Okay.
He ran a 440. He had hands. He went undrafted. He was on a few teams, but now he's with the Washington. I think this is the type of wide receiver that we need to give Terry McLaurin some cushion, against the man-on-man defense. So yeah, I got Washington winning this matchup.
Where's it at?
It's in It's in Washington.
Hmm.
So this is our home game.
Honestly, I think
We've
Daniel
been
Jones. I think Daniel Jones and the company come out and actually take care of business. The way they played against Tampa Bay, I could see them playing pretty damn good. If not,
he plays well at home. I'm gonna say that, but he's not at home. He's
right.
in Washington, and Washington has been very good with trying to win these home games. Won a home game against Dallas, and they had a bye week, and I think they can come in and do the same thing with Giants having a short week.
All right. So Albatross updating his picks. He took the Giants to win.
Of course he
And
did.
and he takes, looks like he says behind a 2-pick day by Xavier Howard, he's taking the Dolphins to win behind the strong defensive performance.
Yeah.
So then, oh wait, hang on
Is
here.
the Saints versus Tampa Bay. It's going to be an interesting game. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, but I have Drew Brees coming on top. I have Drew Brees coming on top. Have 2 more touchdowns than Terrible Tom.
This one was really hard for me.
Yeah, it's very
Saints.
hard to do.
Oh,
Two
geez.
future Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Well,
Um,
Drew's getting Michael Thomas back. He's getting Emmanuel Sanders back. Like, he's getting his whole offense is going to be there. And then you look on the other side, you got Antonio Brown coming in. You got them all healthy. Like,
Chris
this
Godwin
is
is
going
out.
to be an offensive shootout, and I am ready for it.
Yeah, but
Um,
I have New Orleans.
it's in Tampa, though. I don't know, man. Terrible Tom. Harvey, Terrible Tom looking for revenge. He's going to get it on Sunday.
Here's my wild card game, but I think that it's going to come out on strong. Um, the Lions.
Ooh.
I got the Lions winning this game. Um, Matt Stafford has a chip on his shoulder, and they just had Everson Griffin, which will bolster their front seven with the run defense. And I think they can stop this Dalvin Cook train. I think they can be the ones to stop this Dalvin Cook train. Dalvin Cook has been phenomenal this whole season. I believe he's the number 2 running back as far as yards right now, behind Derrick Henry. Don't quote me on that. I think he is the number 2 running back in the league right now.
Ooh.
But I think Detroit. I think Detroit will come on top. I believe Kenny Galladay is listed as active to play tomorrow.
Okay.
I think he is listed active, but Marcus Hall, this kid who came out of nowhere. He's not a rookie. He's been in the league for 4 years, but he shined. He shined last week, and now that with Kenny Galladay possibly being back in, um, I think that this will be great. I have to definitely check and see if Galladay will be out, but I think the Lions will win this game against the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions. I don't. Hmm. I think this is one of those games they show up and win, but they need to do it more often. I don't really like.
Terrible Tom protects the ship, protects the Saints.
Yep.
Goal.
And he took the Vikings. So that is where we're going to leave that segment this week.
You never. Bird's nest.
We're going to jump into the nest. You know, this is your first time in the bird's nest. You know, this is courtesy of Albatross not being here. We allowed a big enough seat for the hog to get up in the nest today. You know.
Ooh, the hog is in the nest now. You know.
So it was a good show. Honestly, this whole COVID thing is kind of crazy. I don't necessarily like how the NFL's handled it so far. I feel like they were really like strict in the beginning and really hesitant to let games go. They're like, protecting the players, this and that. Oh, there's 3, 4 people got to reschedule. And now you kind of have something like that, and they're like, get rid of the people, continue the game.
I'm gonna be honest, and I hate to point the fingers, but I think that once the Titans had that massive outbreak,
Yep.
everything just fell apart.
Right.
Everything just fell apart. I mean, um, you've seen that recently that there were like a player here that had like an isolated incident of COVID. You know what I'm saying? But now you're seeing like player personnels, CEOs, GMs, um, coaches. Players are just they're being tested positive. But now the real question is with this COVID-19 protocol, is you say that they're positive one day, and then about a day or two later, you said that that was a false positive. Now this is a negative. Like, what is the actual call on this? I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's asking this question, because I'm confused as well
Yep.
as how is a player tested positive. Then you said if he's given a false positive into a negative. I don't really understand it. You know, I really don't know. I don't understand it. It's just one of those things where I don't think the NFL has an exact handle on this COVID-19 protocol, and I don't think their doctors have a very good handle on this as well. I think that they actually need a true professional, and I don't think they have professionals. I don't think they have true professionals. And this is now the time where, you know, if they are positive but they're listed as negative because of the false positive, then this is going to be a whole cesspool.
Right.
It's going to be a whole cesspool, and
Dude, it's
this is bad. It can get worse.
it's putting teams in bad situations. It's putting teams in way bad situations. Like we had the 49ers this last week, with all their pretty much COVID list out the wazoo. Absolutely nuts. I feel like that game could have been pushed back. I mean, you pushed back the Patriots game for like 3, 4 people. I don't know why you couldn't push that game back. Like you didn't. I don't know. And then the whole, like you said, positive, false, positive. There's not enough clarity really on what's going on. They're not able to.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on. Breaking news.
Oh.
The NFLPA is investigating complaints over security cameras placed in the Jets locker room.
Yeah.
Wow. Here's my thing. Who would want to steal? I'm joking. This is a big deal, though. Regardless of the status, regardless of the status of the Jets, this is a big deal
Well,
because
people are just willingly breaking these protocols, dude. No one's taking this. Excuse
yeah.
my language. Where's the beep? For albatross. Out there.
No one's taking it seriously. NFLPA is investigating cameras in just locker room. So apparently, right now, from what I'm reading here, is that there's been security cameras inside of the locker rooms. And could this possibly be the reason why the Jets haven't been successful? Despite I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking, Condor. I know what you're thinking.
Damn gays.
But listen, man. Strong belief. It says here on CBS that the NFL Players Association is investigating the accusations of privacy invasion with regards to security cameras that were placed inside the Jets locker room. According to a report from ESPN, the locker room in question is at the team's training facility in Florham Park, New Jersey, and not at MetLife Stadium. Players were reportedly not aware of the camera's existence, but the NFLPA did reach out to the league about this issue, and they received a direct response about it. The organization will be checking to see if the cameras violate the collective bargaining agreement And if they do, actions will be taken. So, this really pretty much gets serious because you've seen how we were so up in arms about the Patriots, with the Bengals game situation.
Oh yeah.
This is pretty much serious because we want to every coach wants privacy when it involves the game plans with their teams, regardless if a team is 0-7 or 7-0.
Spygate 2.0.
You know, game plan is game plan. You don't have to look over your shoulder to see if somebody is actually cheating.
Mhm.
And this is big. This is something. More details will be coming from Condor and on Saturday Night Sports throughout the week.
Definitely.
More investigations. Because we don't want this to happen. We don't want this to actually become a thing. And I just wish that things didn't happen like that.
Yeah, it bugs me. I hate when people do that stuff. It takes away from the integrity of the game, and that's the last thing we need.
Yeah.
We already kind of have enough with all the politics and crap in sports nowadays that take from it as is. The last thing we need is, people continuing to cheat and take advantage of franchises and things like that. We don't need to be seeing all that by any means. We also, again, we need the NFL to do more on their end when it comes to this COVID thing to keep things kind of black and white, keep everything in order, allow people to do what they need to do, but also hold more people accountable because there's so many people not wearing their tracings and things like that it's just like it's throwing things for loops. So then you gotta be out, you gotta be out, you gotta be out. Get out of here. Quit holding certain teams to certain standards and other teams to not such high standards. Like it's not fair, and it's putting people's lives slash careers potentially in jeopardy. It's not cool.
Yeah. Exactly. I totally agree. You
So
know.
I think we're gonna call her. I'm feeling a little on the tired side of things. Been a long last couple days. Love the show though. I like the takes and things we got going on. There's a lot we got going on in the world of NFL tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be, like you said, keeping track on this potential scandal going on in the Jets locker room. Like, there's just, man, as if there wasn't enough drama in 2020.
However, if this is true, I believe, I'm not the only one who can say that a naked video of Makai Becton is something that the internet can do certainly without. Am I right?
Killing me.
Oh
Killing
man.
me. Oh man. Well, as always, I do appreciate you, my friend, joining us.
It's always a pleasure.
We will look for you here soon. And everyone have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. Enjoy the sports. Travel safe. We'll see everyone soon.